Hey guys, welcome back to Bible study. We've been going through a series on the gnarly stories of Scripture. Last week we talked about how Jesus healed a paralyzed man, and this week we're going to be talking about how Jesus calmed a storm. This story takes place in Mark chapter 4, verses 35 through 41. And it's a pretty crazy story. But what's even crazier is how this storm impacted the disciples. So, if you read the story, you see that Jesus' disciples were not only caught up in the storm in their own boat, but there were also other boats surrounding them. So it was a lot of people caught in this storm. And when I was thinking about this, I thought back to last Thursday when there was supposed to be an insane blizzard. Do you guys remember that? 50-mile-per-hour winds and a whole bunch of blizzard activity, crazy stuff. Well, I actually had a friend reach out to me who was in need that night, and I was afraid of going and driving in that storm. But as I set out and said yes to going and serving, I was praying, and as I was praying, the storm stayed calm, and the wind stayed calm, and I was able to go and serve this guy in a great capacity. And it wasn't until after I finished that I actually started feeling some wind on my car as I was working. So our story here is really applicable to that situation. There were these disciples of Jesus in a boat. Jesus was asleep, and they were caught in this crazy storm. And they wake up Jesus, and they're like, "Can you please deal with this storm?" And he's like, "Peace, be still." And the storm stopped. And it was out of that they recognized his power as the Son of God, that even the wind and waves obey. But Jesus challenged them. He said, "How can you have such little faith being disciples of mine?" And so that's the challenge I want to give you guys. How is your faith? How can you take steps to grow in your faith this week, just like the disciples, where you too can calm the winds and waves of the storms of life that people deal with? We'll see you guys next week.